It's a bit unusual on a back-to-back. It appears most guys are here. You're addressing the media as opposed to late in the afternoon. What are you trying to accomplish? What's behind that?
Well, I think the fact we got home early allowed us to bring everybody in, just kind of keep a normal routine. Allows everybody to get in here and get breakfast, have a meal, and we can just stay with almost what we would do in a home game.
As you mentioned last night, Nico said the same. It's details. Nico also said, no reason to panic. It's just kind of get back to work. What's that fine line between gripping the stick too tight, but also knowing that what you have to do to get back on the winning side?
Well, I think we've done a great job of putting wins behind us. We have to put disappointing losses behind us. There's a lot of good stuff in the game that we did. I think, I look at our first period, I look at our third period. A couple details in the second period that got away from us. But put it behind you, focus on the next game, and just take it game by game.
I know you don't like to address lineups per se in terms of people, but might there be some changes? Are you thinking about that?
We are talking about changes. Maybe trying to shuffle, a couple of lines around. Try to get a little bit better fit.
How much does that maybe have to also do with the way your fourth line has played and probably trying to want to get everyone going?
Well, we've been a real good team when all four lines are going. And again, I think after last night, we need four lines, and we need them all going. We need them all playing well in all three zones and chipping in offensively, but playing solid defensively. Where that's really been our strength throughout the year so far.
What does it say if you can bounce back properly against a team like Dallas, who you're now going to start facing some playoff position teams?
Well, you look at the Rangers. The Rangers are a good team. They got good players, and they just came off a road trip where they'd won a couple games. And I can't point to a game that's easier, whether it's a playoff team or a non-playoff team. You have to take advantage of your opportunities. That our success has been the strength of our play away from the puck, the pressure we've been able to put on teams, and we've got to continue that.
What do you make of some of the defensive shortcomings maybe in the past couple of games, and then what are you guys doing to really hone in on that?
Well, you would have to point out which ones you're talking about.
I think just in terms of you just look at the goals against and everything like that. In the past couple of games, it's been a bit higher than usual.
Yeah, I think if you look at the previous game, the chances against were way up. If you look at last night's game, the chances against were way down. There's always going to be a certain amount of chances you deal with. Last night was how we played the rush opportunities. It was part of our meeting today. Again, you're going to make mistakes. You look at the puck that bounced over Nico's stick and we give up the breakaway. Some of that stuff happens in a game. The goal off the face-off. Talked about the details there. And if you make a mistake, can you defend it and give up the lesser of what the best opportunity would be? And that would be making sure we don't give up that east-west pass in front of our goaltender. So we dealt with some of those plays from last night. We dealt with the plays from the previous game, and it's all part of what we continue to work on.
How dynamic is a player like Jason Robertson, especially when you're trying to defend against him?
Well, I almost look at him now as like a Chris Kreider-like player that is, in the West, a big, strong kid that skates well, has been able to take the D wide, get in on goaltenders. You have to be aware of him. You have to make sure that you're slowing him down, because if he gets a step on you, he's one of those strongest guys that can get inside and take the puck to the net.
What is the best way to slow a player like that down?
Get in front of him. We always talk about angles. The angles we use in practice. Some of the 2-on-2 games we play are all about creating good angles. You can't have, some of your players can't knock Robertson down, but you can definitely get in front of him.
Lindy, NHL teams on average use their timeout 25% of the time. Why isn't that number closer to 100? Why are so many timeouts being left on the table? What goes into that decision?
I haven't given that a lot of thought, We haven't had a lot of reason to use the timeout. I think probably because you have your TV timeouts that you can get a lot accomplished. You got 4 times. I think there's a lot of times on our TV timeouts that you'll go to the whiteboard, your little whiteboard on the bench, and talk about what little adjustment you want to make. And there's times even late in the game where we've already got our play set up and we know what we want to do from the previous timeout.
Lindy, aside from a few guys like Sagan and Ben still being there, what similarities do you see between this Dallas Stars team and the one that you coach? And does that maybe give you a little bit of an advantage?
Oh, I don't know if the lineup has changed so much that I don't know if you can really compare. They've got some speed with bigger size guys. When you look at Hintz and Gurianov and Robertson and going down the lineup, and then you've got a guy like Pavelski he's one of the best guys around the front of the net. So I think a lot has changed. It's a hard comparison for me to make.
Thank you, Lindy.
Thanks, Sagan.